Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura. I want to say thank you for new followers on Facebook as well as YouTube. I've been noticing people have been adding on, and I am very humble and grateful that each one of you want to continue watching my videos. It's a very humbling experience that I'm having, and I appreciate every follower that is joining with my channel. I wanted to give a big shout out to one of the viewers on my YouTube channel that she was kind enough to give me really nice compliments and suggestions and sharing her experience with UCTD. I'm gonna say your name, but please, if I say your name wrong, please forgive me. But I think you deserve a shout out. So her name is Anaya Monet. Thank you so much for the comments and sharing your experience with UCTD, and it was really a pleasure to hear your story, and you inspired me to do this video, which is I'm sharing my UCTD flare-ups with everybody, and also I compiled, because since we briefly we were talking about triggers, I felt guided to put together like 9 tips, not just for you, Anaya, but for everybody who is going through UCTD, and to reduce that stress that we all go through when we about to get a flare-up. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and make myself like, oh, I'm perfect, I do everything, and everything comes out beautiful. I am very much like you guys. I struggle through my UCTD, every single day. There's days that I am okay, because I'm not gonna say I'm having an awesome time, but there's days that it knocks me down, and I'm pretty much like you, going through the struggles every day and trying to learn to bypass those struggles. So I'm gonna share my UCTD flare-up. Now, a lot of you might not know, before the pandemic started, I used to work for a catering company here in New York City. Now, the type of job that I did was I coordinated children's birthday parties, and a lot of the parties were like my biggest amount of parties I used to do was mostly in the summertime. So I used to coordinate like maybe about 300 parties, and it would start from May into September, and it's like nonstop, so it was very stressful for me. But the stress didn't start just in May, but the initial trickling of the stress will kick in, I would say, at the end of April, and it will go from the end of April on to September, and it would be really rough for me. I would get a lot of times like very fatigued, and the fatigue will lead into like a lethargic feeling. Now, a lot of times I will get these initial triggers of my flare-ups will be at work, and it's really hard to go through those moments and have to perform your best at the job, and a lot of times between the fatigue, the lethargic feeling, I would get muscle weakness. That was bad, and like I would get high volumes of calls, and sometimes I felt kind of like confused, and like when I get the sleepiness, because I also get very sleepy, and when I start getting those sleepy moments, I would be like really nervous, because I know that my body is starting to shut down. And a lot of times when you're working in a company, and a lot of you might work in, different various, places, but when I'm working, I would get really nervous, because I would be like, oh my God, my body's is shutting down already. And I would literally pray at that moment, like, please don't let me shut down, don't let me collapse, because a lot of times I felt like I was going to collapse on the floor. And I'm like, please, I don't want them to think that I'm on some sort of drugs, because when you're working with your peers, they expect you to be on your best, to provide the service that you're hired to do. And so I would be like so nervous, because of the fact that I'm going through all this in one moment. And it's not like it just happens for one day. It will happen, it will gradually start with the sleepiness. It will start with the mental confusion, the lethargic. It would trickle from day to day to day to day. And it felt like it's getting worse for me. And so I had to literally oh my God, I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this moment. It's very scary, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm on some sort of drugs, that I'm under the influence of something. And to be honest with you, I don't take any type of recreational drugs. I only take is my medication and my supplements that I use, to get through, to make sure I stay healthy. But not everybody would understand that you're going through an illness. And so it was really rough. And so I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this flare up? And I would literally sometimes be crying. When I get home, I'd be crying. I'd be upset, because I felt like my body is shutting down on me, and I didn't know how to make myself feel better, so it was really, really intense. And so me getting through those moments, I really had to think and plan a way that I could try to reduce the stress at work. And sometimes it's not easy, because I don't have people to do my job, because I was the only one hired to do a specific job. So it's not like I can turn around and say, hey, can you help me with this, because I can't, my body is shutting down. Nobody want to hear that. Everybody had their own problems and their own stresses at work. So it was just me dealing with the stress. And I felt like, I felt almost, I would say almost useless. Anyway, so that was my triggers. It was it would be a lot of times the stress of work, and then to come home and dealing with other types of stress at home, and not being able to basically shut down completely, because a lot of times, the summer season for me was I go to work my 9-to-5 job, but a lot of times when people will leave at 5 o'clock, you think you're gonna have a good time going home. No, my work continued at home, because it was that time of the year for me that I have to make sure that everything was done before that week. So a lot of times I used to work from, I would say, hour traveling, so 6 to almost 11 o'clock at night, making sure everything was done, and then to start the process the next day, because I would have to get up at 5 a.m. because at the end of the day I was still a mom, so I had to make sure my son was, you know, like taken care of, and making sure that he did what he had to do for school. So my body never rested. I never got the chance to shut down physically and get through the process of, you know, a flare-up. And so, you know, this was a struggle, and I kept going through this for years. It wasn't just like 1 year or a couple of months. Every year I went through the struggle of a flare-up, and it could vary from summer times, and there was times that I get it in the winter too, because depending what I was going through at the time, you know, I was going through personal struggles too, so it would sneak up on me. So I learned that it was definitely a trigger, that I was going through a stressful moment, and sometimes I even I felt like I was premeditating the stress before the stress happened. So that alone, it was really rough. And but I learned a couple of things along the way what could help me to bypass that stress. So I put together this 9 ways to cope with the stress of, you know, of a flare-up, or bypass the stress of a flare-up. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of them I do, and there's others that when I saw, I was just like, yeah, I gotta work on harder on those other items, because again, I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I'm a perfect person, you know, if there's no such thing as perfect. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you guys. All right, so 9 tips, okay? So number 1, it's still kind of like, it's a touchy thing, because like number 1, I'm gonna mention it anyway. Learn to say no. Now, learn to say no depends what the situation is, because if it's at work, you know, again, you're hired to do a specific job, and it's hard to say no to your boss, unless it's something that really, you know, pushes your boundaries to the point that it's not cool. Then yeah, you need to say no. But if it's something that, you know, you have to perform your duties at work, and I would say just be selective what is the no on that. Because I don't want you to take my advice and then be like, you know what, Laura, you screwed me over on my job. No. I'm not taking no responsibility on that. But be selective on what you're going to say no to when it comes to work. But I would say is, you can say no on your personal stuff at home. You know, if you have a busy at home life, that you have responsibilities to, like, let's say you gotta have family obligations, you're gonna do this with the family and do that with the family, or you know, go, you know, dinner and dancing or whatever, and you know you have limitations with your body, yeah, that I would say, yeah, you can say no, because I've done it. And I'm being honest on that. I have said no times that I know that I'm coming close to a flare-up. Second of all, I know I need to reserve my energies for the week that I had to deal with work. So yes, I would say no to those things. That if you have an engagement that you have to go to a family gathering, and you know that you're gonna be with every family member and they're gonna exhaust you physically, and knowing that you're gonna have a busy week coming up at work, give yourself that little time off and just say, you know what, I'm not up to it. I'm sorry. I love you, but I can't do it this time. But I definitely will try to do it next time. So saying no, yeah. Learn to ask for help. That's number 2. Learn to ask for help. Now, I've learned to do that. There was times at work that there were moments that I felt a little overwhelmed on certain things, and I was asked for help. The company I was working for, they were okay on that. I could see you're under stress, and yeah, I'll help you with this, and they will try to help me on what stuff I needed to get done. And at home, I definitely have my boys that I could thank. They have been helpful with me because a lot of times I felt very exhausted. When I was going through those flare-ups, that I just felt like incapacitated to do anything, I would ask my boys, hey, I need your help. If you could clean the dishes, or sometimes I will ask them to clean the bathroom, or go to the grocery store and do some food shopping, because a lot of times, I could not be going up and down those stairs because I live on the 3rd floor and I don't have elevators in my building. And me hauling grocery bags up and down, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy. And so, yeah, I will ask my oldest son and say, hey, do me a favor, go to a grocery store, get what, I will give him the list of stuff that I need from the store, and he'll get it for me. So, yeah, if you have kids, and no matter how young they are, get them trained, get them to help you, because at the end of the day, you need to reserve your energy to be around for them. Okay, so number 2 is important. Number 3, always stay positive with yourself. It's a lot of work to stay positive, because when I first started with my illness, in the beginning I always thought doom and gloom, I'm gonna die within a year, or doom and gloom, I'm gonna keep getting worse and worse, and I'm not gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel of getting through this. Stop doing that. Stop doing that, because life is short, and when it comes to living your life, always cherish the small things in life, no matter how difficult it is physically. Cherish your moments. Try to be kind to yourself and say, you know what, I'm having a bad day with this. Let's try harder tomorrow, because you're not taking over my body yet. And I refuse to be put in a corner and worry about whether I'm gonna live or die. So I always try to stay positive. I always do, because I've learned to appreciate the little things in life. And even if you are not feeling well, try to enjoy your life a little bit. You know, go out, take a walk, you know, just enjoy and be kind to yourself. Alrighty, counseling and support groups. That is number 4, counseling and support groups. So me personally, I don't go to counseling. I haven't gotten to that point that I need to see a therapist and talk about what I'm going through with this disease or whatever's bothering me. Because again, when I mentioned about staying positive, I always tend to see the positive in things in life and what surrounds me. And so I feel like I don't need that counseling. But if any one of you out there that are in a very dark, negative space, then do it. You know, because it's important for you to stay healthy, not only the physical but the mental. And you are very important for your family, for your friends. So yeah, if you really need to get that counseling, do it. Me, I do participate in support groups. I do have I have been in a support group on Facebook that every day I see everybody's posts, and it's called the Undifferentiated Connective Tissue Disease Support Group on Facebook. And every day I look through everybody's struggles, what they go through physically, and sometimes, you know, they share their inspiration too. And it just makes me feel that, hey, if you need to vent, then vent. And I tend to do that. I tend to, like, hey, you know, like, I don't feel my best, I will vent whatever is going on at that moment. And, you know, there's no judgment, because we're all going through our struggles with this. So I would suggest anybody, then yeah, go join a support group and you know, share your experience. Number 5, schedule sufficient sleep. Now, before the pandemic, I was working long hours. I used to get up at 5 a.m. and be at the office at 9 a.m. and work till 5, and then to get home and to continue working until 11, almost 12 o'clock at night. It was tolling on my body to have that flare up continue, because my body was screaming to rest. And anybody going through this, yes, it's important to go to sleep at a normal time. It's important to get that rest in order for your body to recuperate and you'll be able to function again. So I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to readjust the way I do things, you know, regarding to work. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna work until 7 o'clock. I didn't care if certain things didn't get done, I will get it done the next day. And I would just basically try to relax. And a lot of you are gonna say, like, oh my God, you cannot be possibly going to sleep at this time. But yes, I went to sleep early, because since I had to get up at 5 a.m., I felt like I need a whole night's sleep. So my sleeping schedule is, and I'm gonna say I have been deviating a little bit, but not too much. I will go to sleep at 9 o'clock, because since I know I had to get up at 5 a.m., I had to get ready for, for work and get my son ready for school and then get my day started. I had to go to sleep at 9 and be able to get the whole night's sleep and then function the next day. Doesn't mean that you all have to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, but just be mindful on the way you're going to sleep and the way that your body reacts. So you have to find your normal time for yourself. But definitely the sleep does help. Okay, so number 6, participate physical activity. Now, before the pandemic started, I used to go to the gym a lot. I used to go to the gym, do a workout, because for me, I found enjoyment in just going to the gym. But since the pandemic happened, and a lot of you know that I had COVID last year, I'm kind of terrified to go back into the gym. That's being honest. I'm kind of terrified because, it was not a pleasant experience to get that virus. So a lot of times I take a walk. Taking a walk is important. Getting out, take a walk. Eventually I'm gonna go back to the gym because, I want to. But it's definitely important to do some activity. And a lot of you, if you have a pool, swim. If you like doing yoga, participate in yoga. Or if a lot of you like doing Tai Chi, then do Tai Chi. Whatever makes you comfortable for your body, that you can not exert your body. Me personally, I like going to the gym, and because I like excitement, a little bit of excitement. So, but that makes me relax too. So don't judge. I really don't know what to say, but I was up to number 7. As I was talking to you, my camera decided to shut down because it felt overheated. What the heck? My camera is new. It's a new camera. How can you overheat? Don't get it. I will say is Mercury retrograde. It has kicked in for me. Anyway, so if you see a cut, it wasn't on purpose. That's what happened. My camera overheated. Anyway, I was talking about number 7, healthy diet, in which I was saying that that's one thing that I really need to work hard on, because I'm a person that I do cook my meals, but I tend to cheat a lot when it comes to eating foods that I'm not supposed to eat. And I'm trying to work on it. But I have to work harder. And that's something that, again, I'm not perfect. I am working hard on getting better and getting healthier. So that's going to be my main goal this year. It's just work harder on being healthy when it comes to consuming foods. So yeah, healthy diet is important, especially if we are suffering with UCTD, that certain foods will give us that trigger of flare-ups. And I know what foods gives me those certain triggers, so I'm working on it. Anyway, number 8, deep breathing. And those those are moments that I did do a lot, especially when I was working, crazy hours, high impact, call value. I did a lot of deep breathing, and that helps me relax. And plus, I also deal with crystals too, like holding on to crystals, and they help me soothe my anxiety when I was going through, those moments of flare-ups. So deep breathing, definitely. Just take a deep breath and relax. It's definitely helps you to get recentered, and yeah, it's important. And finally, number 9, meditation. Meditation. And I kept putting that out in different videos so far, and a lot of you must be saying, she really is a hippie. Yeah, well, yeah, no, yeah. Meditation. I do the meditation. I personally like to do the sleeping meditation. That helps me a lot. That helps me get my body relaxed, because a lot of times when you're dealing with a stress and anxiety, or those flare-ups, I will put certain meditations depending what I'm in the mood for. A lot of times I will put like nature sounds. I will put like Celtic music. Excuse me. I love Celtic music. Meditation. Depending what you're looking for, there's a whole bunch of meditation sounds and music on YouTube, and yeah, it does work. I'm not gonna lie. I even listen to Native American chants, and that also helps too. So I would say a lot of you out there, just try it. Try it for at least 2 weeks. And yes, I'm giving you 2 weeks. And you will see how it can benefit you, to help you get grounded and center yourself and make you feel normal, almost normal. And that I do practice. So those are my 9 tips of pretty much controlling the stress in your body, and help you bypass those. And it happened again. I don't know what's going on, but the Mercury retrograde is really kicking my butt today. Anyway, so I just wanted to say is thank you for everybody who are watching the video. I'm sorry for the cuts on this video, but I can't control what's going on with my camera. Anyway, so if you're new to the channel, you're welcome to subscribe, and please give the video a like, so anybody who are suffering through UCTD and going through their flare-ups, that maybe they can benefit the 9 tips to help them bypass and control the stress. Again, I'm not claiming that I'm perfect. I am just putting this out there that help you, that it helps me, but also will help you to get control of this disease. And if you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to see on the video, any future videos, please you could leave me at any comments at the comment box on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, I would like to hear from you too. Thank you again, everybody. I am sorry again with all the crazy cuts on the videos, but I really felt that this is important for all of us who are going through this. I mean, I am trying to build a community with everybody going through this disease, and it's important for me, and it gives me a great pleasure to share my story and inspire you to move forward with a lot of positivity. Okay, so please take care, stay safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.